Hello, people on YouTube. I, it's hard for me to say about this, but, here is Boobop 197 who's gonna tell you about what is today's top 5 list of the day. Hi, ladies and dudes. This is Rebecca Lynn Barkley, aka Boobop 197. This is my review for a day. And today's review, ladies and dudes, well, my friends, it's that time again for another top 5 list that nobody has never done before. And this top 5 list is going to be about is, well, once again, I decided to bring my Monsters Cult book back with me. And as you may know, I'm looking forward to see a Monsters Call. It's coming out on October the 14th, 2016. This is one of the films I'm looking forward to, and truly one of the most underrated films that nobody had never talked about in the year 2016. I wonder what the heck you guys were thinking not to put this movie on this list. And I can't wait to see the old great mighty Liam Neeson playing this really cool creature called, well, a monster. He doesn't have a full-fledged name of it. His name is just, well, Monster. And the reason why I decided to bring this book back in my video is, once again, I'm gonna do another top 5 list that nobody has never done before. And this top 5 list is going to be about is, I'm going to tell you guys about one of my most favorite chapters that I enjoyed the best from this book. So anyway, for my latest top 5 list I want to do for today is my top 5 best chapters from this amazing book called A Monster Calls. And to tell you the truth is, ladies and dudes, I fell in love with every single chapter that happened in this book. But I'm going to tell you about my most favorite chapters that I really love the best. Something from beginning, middle, and end. And also, I will let you know is my most favorite chapters that I love the best from both movies and books alike is definitely near endings. I think near endings are the most interesting parts that I love the best for movies and books, I guess, but hard for me to say. So anyway, without further ado, ladies and dudes, here is my top 5 best chapters that I really love from this amazing book called A Monster Calls. And also, I do have a couple honorable mentions for some other good chapters that's not there in the list. So, here are my honorable mentions. The first honorable mention I want to talk about is chapter 13 called The Champ. It's the part where Carter is going to reunite with his father. He hadn't seen him for a pretty long time, and Carter's going to tell his dad a couple of weird things here and there while they're having their pizza. That was really cool. Chapter 24 is called The Punishment. All I could say about this chapter, it took place after the events of the third tale. That I cannot spoil. And chapter 25 is called A Note, where Carter's friend Lily gave Carter a nice little piece of note with only 4 lines in it, and she wants to be sure Carter's okay and all that stuff. And finally, chapter 28 called of the fourth tale. And this is where Carter's going to find out the truth of what's going on from his dreams, his visions, the nightmares that he had. And this is where the monster had finally found out the truth of what the heck that Carter was hiding from all this time. Something that really haunts him the most. So those are my honorable mentions for some other chapters that came from In the Monster's Call. And now, let's head on to my top 5 most favorite chapters that I love the best from A Monster's Call. So let's get right to it. Coming at number 17 is chapter 17 called The Destruction. I frickin' love this chapter. This is one of the most messiest chapters I have ever read. It's so darn amazing, and it can be scary, haunting, threatening, terrifying, and also it's about what the heck that Carr had done. And it came from after the events of the second tale. I'll show you a picture right now. Here's what the heck that Carr had done. He reckoned everything at his grandmother's house. The clocks, the shelves, and I think the furniture, the bed, everything. This is one of the most epic pictures that I have ever seen. And Carr had no idea what the heck he had done. He's gonna get it. And sadly, yeah, his grandmother had noticed about it, and all that she did is she cried out at her room and just shut the door and never said a word to Carter. This is one of the best chapters I love, and really one of the best, messiest chapters I have ever read so far. So, chapter 17 called The Destruction, it deserves to be at number 5. Coming at number 4 has to go to the third tale. I frickin' love the third tale. It is one of the most darkest chapters that I ever read. I think truly one of the best, darkest chapters I ever read. And it's a story about where the monster is going to tell Carr the third story about a invisible man that came out of nowhere and attacked one of those schoolboys. And, well, it's hard for me to explain about this one. But I'll show you this amazing picture. Woo! Oh my. This will give you nightmares, for goodness sakes. The monster is going to attack a boy that he doesn't know of. And, I also want to let you know is I did fall in love with that teaser trailer. The first trailer that we ever seen from A Monster's Call, where Liam Neeson is going to play the monster and he's going to tell the boy the third story about a invisible man that came out of nowhere and he's sick and tired to be invisible. And he wants to find a way to make that invisible man being seen by everyone. If you know what I mean. So yeah. I have nothing else to say about this one, so the third tale, it deserves to be at number 4. Coming at number 3, I gotta put these 2 chapters together as a whole. And I will say this is my most favorite tale story out of all the 3 that the monster told Carr a story about, if you know what I mean. So anyway, for a tie at number 3 is the chapter 8 and chapter 9 of the first tale. I frickin' love this epic, unique story. And it's kind of like a fairy tale-like, but it's way more darker than before. It's a story about a prince who wants to find a way to bring freedom to his kingdom, and an evil witch who is an evil queen who ruled the land for way too long, and the prince fell in love with that farmer girl, and there's going to be an unknown plot twist going on, and the first time where the monster is going to start walking. That's all I could say about the first tale, and I'll show you an amazing picture about the first tale. I don't want to take anything away. Here it is. Yeah, I really like this picture. And that's the monster right here in his normal form. And that's that horse with the scary a scary eye thing. Hard for me to say, but yeah, this is really cool. I don't have anything else to say, so the whole entire first tale for chapter 8 and 9, it deserves to be at number 3. Coming at number 2 is the story where it all began. So yeah, for number 2 is called, well, A Monster Calls. And there's the monster right here, where he started to walk when there's the moon so bright and the graves and all that stuff. I freaking love the beginning of this chapter where the monster's gonna walk and heading on to that mysterious house that he needs to go to and start to meet Carter for the very first time. And all that the monster wants is just to talk to Carter for some unknown reason. And yeah, he had a epic main entrance of the story too, where you can finally see his face for the very first time. I love that picture. It's so darn pretty. And I'll never forget where Carter was so darn brave to the monster and never cower and runs away. And he said to monster, just come and get me then. In another time, I guess. But yep, that's the reason why the monster has to come at 12:07 so he could talk to Carter for so many things and gain to know this unknown secret that Carter was hiding from all this time. And that is the truth. Well, that'll come later on in this book anyway. So yeah, A Monster's Call, it deserves to be at number 2. And finally, my number 1 best chapter I love the best from this book is definitely... hold on. There it is. It's way too bright. Yep, my number 1 best chapter of all is called Life After Death. I will say Life After Death, this is my most favorite chapter of all. Definitely one of the best heartwarming, tear-jerking, most passionate, or a compassionable chapter of all time. And it took place after when the fourth tale has already been told, I guess. All I could say about this one is very heartwarming. It's very strong, very passionable or compassionate. Hard for me to say about this chapter, but it's the part where Carr was crying and he got upset and he has no idea what to do. His mother is dying and the monster will do his best to comfort him as soon as he can, and he create his hands like a net so he could cradle Carr for a while and tell him about so many things here and there. It's hard for me to say. And I'll show you this wonderful picture that came from in the near final chapter. Isn't that sweet? I think the monster is starting to care about Carter a lot, even if they knew each other for a short amount of time. Even if it took place at nighttime. So yeah, I really fell in love with their character development, their chemistry, and they got along so well, and they're getting really close as friends. And this is the part where I did find out the truth after all about if I ever read this book. I want to know if the monster is really a good guy or a bad guy. But after when I read it, I just found out the truth that the monster is truly a good guy character after all. Yeah, hard for me to say about this one. So for my number 1 spot is chapter 30 called Life After Death. Definitely one of the best chapters that you'll ever read in your whole entire life of this amazing book called A Monster Calls. And that is it, ladies and dudes. That is my top 5 most favorite chapters that I enjoy the best from A Monster's Call. I hope you enjoyed this list, and I'm sorry if I messed things up or two. Again, well, you know me, I always had trouble making up a sentence or two, but I promise I'll try to make it better on my later on videos to come. And tell me, ladies and dudes, what is your most favorite chapter that you ever read from A Monster's Call? Well, whichever it is, leave a comment there and let me know, and I'll see you all next time for my next videos to come, as I'm finally going to do my top 10 best movie scenes without any dialogue at all.